Hi guys, it's Casey. So, I didn't get this video done as quickly as I wanted to, but I wanted to go ahead and come back and try and create with you guys using some of the Bargain Bead Box items. So, we're going to get started on that. I'm going to turn you around and I will show you the things that you need. Alright, give me just a second. Okay, so I'm making a 2-strand necklace. I had found some of these in my stash and I thought they were really pretty, so I'm pairing them with some just plain sparkly rondelles and some of the melon beads, and then a bunch of gold findings, this little pendant, and that's about it, it looks like. And then we're gonna create some earrings as well. So I kind of went ahead and did up a bunch of the links I need, but I was gonna do one of each with you guys so that you can see it. It's wire wrapped, so I wire wrapped some links, and I'm gonna do 6 links on the bottom chain and then just do a link of these on the center, or in the center of that bottom chain. Okay, so you're gonna need a lobster, some chain. I have a couple of wire guardians here, and these are the links that I'm going to attach my strands to on the necklace. So I have a couple of those, and like I said, I have this pendant, and that's going to be the bottom. Then I wire wrapped a couple of links for the bottom. I'm going to use some tiger tail for the inner row, and I have some links of wire here to do the wire wrapping. Sorry. I have out the bead caps from the Bargain Bead Box and the chain. Some jump rings. These are the ear wires because we're going to make a pair of earrings here at the end. So there's all that. If I miss anything, I'll kind of tell you as we go along. Sometimes I don't know what the heck I'm doing. So let's get started. I'm going to move some of these out of the way. So first, we're going to wire wrap a link, and I cut this link of wire. It is 20 gauge wire, and I cut it about 5.5 inches. It's more than you need, but it's better to have more than less. So then I just take my chain nose pliers, and I go down about, I don't know, like 2 inches, maybe 2.5, and put a bend in it. And actually I can do this other one too. We're going to call that about good. So we'll put bends in those so they're ready to be made into links. And then we're going to wrap a circle with our link here, or our wire here, I mean, to make a link. I'm going to wrap a circle, and you just go over the top and then pull it around like that. And then I always kind of adjust it and just kind of make sure that looks all right. Then you're going to turn it around, and you can do this with your fingers or with a pair of pliers, but you're going to wrap it around that loop. And then right here, I usually use my chain nose pliers to kind of just straighten it out. And then I usually use my pliers and go around. So you see how that's separated right there? As you're doing this, if you'll just push that up, it works out so much better. And I kind of use my, oh, it's not in focus, I'm sorry guys. I kind of use my round nose pliers to guide it. This is hard to do behind the camera. There we go. And then just continue wrapping. And I usually do like I don't know, 3 to 4 wraps. I think on all the other ones I did 4, so we're going to go ahead and do 4 wraps around. And then you want to snip it off as close as you can get it. Try to make sure my wire's not going anywhere. And you see this point that's sticking out still. You want to try and clinch that in, cinch it in against the center wire. So just like that. And then you've got a wire. So then when you take this off, your top is going to be a little crooked most likely. So I just straighten it out with your chain nose pliers as well as you can. And just kind of tweak it a little bit so that it looks nice. So now we've got a working link. And we're going to put on this link one of our centers. Hold on just a second, guys. I actually can still fill that just a tad. So I'm going to just push it in just a little bit more. Okay, that's better. Okay, so then the pattern I had going on these links is I did a rondelle, and then I had 4 of these pretty champagne gold bicones in like a 6mm, I think. And then I did a couple of the bead caps, one of those melon beads, another bicone, and another rondelle. So that's what I'm going to do again. So rondelle, bicone, one of our bead caps. And with these bead caps, you want to be careful because they're really tiny, and you want to make sure you get in that center hole. And I just dropped it, but it's still going to be matte at least. But just make sure you get in that center hole, because there's holes all around the center, so it looks like a flower, but it won't sit right if you don't get it in that center hole. Okay, then another bicone and another rondelle. So that is our link. And then I take my chain nose pliers here, and I just go to a little under the middle of them, and I give myself a bend there so that I have plenty of space for when I'm wire wrapping. Then you're going to grab your round nose, and you're going to go, I go to about the center again on the edge there, and then pull it up and over. And then you want to go over the beads, continuing around. So that's what that looks like. Then you're going to push it up as much as you can. And you can do this with pliers, and that's what I usually do. I grab the end with my pliers and go around. And then if it's not up against here, then I pull it up with my pliers. And then, oh, sorry. And then you just keep wire wrapping. I actually moved my whole desk when I did that. You just keep wire wrapping as far as you can. And then you snip as close to it as you can get, which that's about as all I'm going to get. And then you're going to fold in the rest of, I usually flip it around. You're going to fold in the rest of your wire that you have. Okay. And if it's too hard to do it that way, you can always keep flipping it so that you can see. Until you get it tucked in. Alright. Now it's not quite all the way tucked in, but you can hold it and do the rest. So there is our link. And then, if you'll notice on this link, our loops are going different directions. So you can just grab a couple of chain nose or a flat nose and a chain nose, which is what I have, and just make sure they're going the same direction. Like that. So there's that link. And I just kind of adjust it, push it a little bit this way and that to make sure it sets right. And I add it over here. So then next we're going to do another link here with the other pattern that I had going on. The other pattern was I did a rondelle, a little mini bicone, one of these frosted window beads, another mini bicone, and another rondelle. So that's the pattern for these ones. So we're going to do that. Once again, you're going to do your top wrapped loop. And just adjust it as much as you can so that it looks nice. And then take your chain nose pliers and go around. Like say I'm trying for 4 loops around. So you just keep going until you're happy with it. Oh, sorry guys. And if at any time you have this problem, you can always use your pliers here to squish that up. And then you want to cut it while it's round on the back as close as possible, and then tuck in that end. Okay, when you're satisfied with your loop, there we go. When you're satisfied with your loop, then you're going to put your pattern on. So I said we were doing a rondelle, a baby bicone. Oh, I dropped my baby bicone. A baby bicone, a window bead, another baby bicone, and finally another rondelle. So that's what our pattern looks like. And you know what? I am not happy with this bicone, so I'm going to switch it out. Let's see. Okay, I like this bicone. Okay, so I'm quite a bit of a perfectionist, so it tends to happen that I don't like things. I'll pick and choose between my beads. Be like, no, that doesn't match. So then we're going to give us some space again. And actually, I think that's too much space. So I'm gonna straighten this back out. Go down on my beads. Bend over. Like that. Then use your round nose pliers. And we are going to go to about the center, not quite the center. Go up and over. And then over your beads. You can turn your work this way. And you're going to look like that. Like this. And then, when you're satisfied with how this part looks, you may need to go different directions or adjust a little bit. But I'm kind of satisfied with that. Then you're going to do the wrap. Oop, I lost it. And see, right there, I just made that super wide here. So, you can bump it up. Just use your pliers in there to push it up as far as you can. And then go back to wrapping. And I'm pretty satisfied with that many loops, so I'm going to cut off as close as I can get up to the speed here. See, like that. And always use your flush side of your cutters. I don't know if I told you tools, but I have flush cutters. I have chain nose, round nose, flat nose, and even bent nose. And actually, I will let you know that bent nose works really good when you're going through the tucking process right here. When you're trying to tuck this last bit of wire in, these bent nose work really good on it. Okay. I'm going to turn it. Oh, I'm sorry. I got out of frame there. So the only thing you really got to be careful with when you're doing wire wrapped loops is that you don't break your beads when you're wrapping. Because we're working with glass beads, so they're easily breakable. So you just kind of got to give yourself just a little bit of room still to wrap, but look nice. So there's my finished piece. I'm going to make sure that my ends are matched up because I can see they're a little crooked, and you're just going to do that. And we've got another link. So I've got all of these links. I have 6 of them. And we are going to attach them together to form a chain. And we're going to use some little 4mm jump rings. I'm sorry, I lost my mind. And mine are all mixed together right now. So I'm just going to dump some of these out and pick some out. There's one. There's one. Here's one. So if you're going to link them all together, you're going to need about... Look what one I found. It has 3 jump rings hooked to it. I just thought that was funny. You're going to need about 12 of them if you want to hook them all together. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So if I need any more, then I can dig some more out. There was one. So I'm going to add these. That's 14, just in case. Just in case I need some more. So then, and these aren't together because I put them together. I ordered those from Bargain Bead Box, or Bead Box Bargain, sorry, their sister site. And they had a set for, I think it was 89 cents for 4 to 10 millimeter jump rings for 10 grams, maybe? 10 grams, I think. So there's that. Let me throw this little piece away. Then we're going to make this little link right here. And it's going to hang on this little wreath with another one on this side. And then this butt is going to dangle at the bottom. So we're going to do that. And I actually did this one with my handy dandy one-step looper. You don't have to use this if you don't have one. You can do this with a simple regular round nose plier. And this is just a simple loop rather than a wrapped loop. And I will let you know that if you will bend this back when you do it, it'll give you your bend like a regular jump ring. And this did not bend all the way. So we are going to straighten it. It made it completely crooked. So we're going to straighten it. And then, since it was crooked, it didn't form the loop properly. So we're just going to try to complete this loop. Oh, I'm sorry, you guys. I'm trying to see around the camera so I can still do these things for you, but also see what I'm doing. So there, we have a simple loop. It's a little longer than I normally would do, but I guess I could snip it just a tad. Okay. Sorry, it's not in focus, is it? There we go. And then we'll complete this loop. Okay, so I'm going to call that good enough. That's my loop. I'm sorry, guys, it's not focusing. There we go, my loop. So then, on this one, I put on a spacer bead, a rondelle, and a spacer bead. So I'm going to do that again. You grab a couple of spacer beads. Oh, I had some out actually. So a spacer bead, a rondelle, and a spacer bead. And I also have some rondelles up here. So we're going to put these together. So you take your little eye pin. You can also do this with an eye pin, because that's basically what I just made. However, I did not have any eye pins in the same color as these. So I just went ahead and used this. So then I did a spacer, a rondelle, a spacer, and then I'm going to put it back in my little handy dandy tool here. And I'm going to push it up against this as far as I can. And then as soon as it's as far as you can go, and if you'll make sure that your loops is flat, then your other loop will be flat too. And then you close it shut and pull it off. And that's what you get. Now, I could have shut it a little more if I hadn't cut it so close, but I wanted to cut it as close as I could, because I want this bead to be as tight as possible. Or this length, not bead. So then you can just use your little round nose pliers to give you a better close on your link. So then we have another link. So then we are going to do, actually let's put this together first. We're going to link it together with some 4mm jump rings. And so you just use a couple of pliers. I'm using my bent nose and my chain nose. You open your jump ring. You always want to open this way from side to side. I wish it would focus for you. Let's see if I can get it to focus that way. So like that, side to side, you open it that way. You never want to open it pulling. Do not pull. If you pull it, you're never going to get it back into shape the way it should be. So then we are going to do one of these and one of these. So I took one of the window bead ones and one of the melon bead ones, links, and I put them on this jump ring. And now I'm going to close my jump ring shut and make sure you get it lined up really good. And I tend to push the edges down a little bit just so that I know it's well closed. It's closed very well. Okay, and then we take another jump ring. If I can get a hold of it. You take another jump ring and open it. I'm going to put it on this end of this one and this end of this one. And make sure it's closed really well. So this is one side of my chain. Then I'm going to do the same with the other side. And open that jump ring. Put one of those window beads and one of the links with the melon. Make sure it's closed really good. Oops, sorry. Okay, make sure that's closed really good. Then you grab another jump ring. And it's upside down, so I'm going to turn it right side up. Open it laterally. And throw those other links on there. And then you've got both your links done. So then we're going to assemble our bottom piece. So this with these links that we made. So I'm going to set these two link chains off to the side for a second. We'll come back to those in just a minute. And I'm going to put these here. Then I'm going to use 4mm jump rings on either side. And actually, on these little links with the rondelle on it, I'm just going to open one side and hook it straight to the bottom link, which is this. I'm going to hook that straight on there and shut it. And then just make sure that it's shut nice and tight. If you can. Mine doesn't want to go together. So there's that. And then we're going to do the same thing with the other one. Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't in screen. And then same as the other one, just make sure that it's closed. This one's a tad bit rougher because you've already got pieces on there and it's hard to get around them. So you just want to make sure that it's closed really well. Because if it's not, it's going to come apart. It's being stubborn. Alright, so there it is, and that's what it looks like. And it's going to hook onto our little flower pendant. So you're going to take some, oh, I grabbed the wrong thing. You're going to take some jump rings, and I'm using the 4mm jump rings again. And, oh, I dropped it. Then you're going to open them and hook one side on there, and then you're going to hook one flower on there. And I'm going to go with this leaf right here, this petal, I mean. And then you just make sure that your jump ring is closed really well. Then we're going to do the same thing over here, and we're going to come off of this petal. So take your jump ring, open it up, and then hook it off of this petal here and to this link here. And once you do that and you close it really good, this is what I end up with. And I think that's really pretty. And you know what, guys? I did not do the right flowers. I wanted it over here and over here, so those were spread. So I'm going to redo that real quick. If I can find the opening to my jump ring. So, open that jump ring just a tad. And then I'm putting it over here. And make sure that jump ring closes back up really good. And same thing with this side. I'm gonna open it. That did not at all work out the way I wanted it to. Just a second. So we're going to hook it this way. And we're hooking it over here onto this petal. And then we're going to hook this link onto it as well. There we go. So then you close that up, and actually there, that's better. So they give it a little bit of width apart. So this is what our bottom's going to look like, and it will hook to all of this. So then all we're going to do is we are going to put one here and one here. and use 4mm jump rings to do that. So you grab a jump ring, twist it open, hook one end of your links on, hook your flower on, and close it. Then we're going to pick up this second jump ring here. Oop, I dropped it. Open it, hook your link on, and then hook it over here to this other side. You kind of have to fiddle with it just a tad. Whoops. Sorry, guys. Because the flowers are not exactly the same all around. They kind of twist a little bit, and they have smaller ones and bigger ones. So then you end up with this. I think that's very pretty. It's actually a little longer than I planned on it being, but that's okay. And then I want to come in here in the center and make a little chain. So we're going to set this piece to the side until we have that done. And I'm going to bring out my tiger tail here, and we're going to make a chain. Now, this is just a piece that I got from one of the curated bead boxes. So I don't know exactly what this is. It's just one I had, and I'm definitely not going to use all of it, but I will use a little. So what I'm going to do on this is I have a magical crimper, which I really love. And it looks like this. It's got these holes on the center to make your crimp bead look like an actual bead. So I'm going to add one of those crimp beads, and they have special crimp beads. You can't use any crimp bead you want. If you do, it's not going to turn out the way it should. So I'm going to put one of these crimp beads on, and then I got some wire guardians out just because I wanted this to be on a wire guardian, so it looked nice and neat. You're going to fold that over and put it through the other side of the wire guardian and then through your crimp bead. So that's how it's going to end up looking. And then you use your magical crimper to make this, and you've got to make sure that your wires aren't crossed. Mine actually are. To make this into a little round bead. So you just put it in there like that, and you squeeze shut. And then you turn it, and you squeeze shut again. And you keep doing that. Just turn, squeeze, until you get the desired look that you are going for. And then, of course, you have to also make sure that your crimp bead is closed and that you're not going to lose it. So mine's closed, and see, it looks like a little bead. Looks like a little round bead on your thread, which makes your piece just look nicer. So then I had a pattern going here a minute ago, and we're going to set that back up again. And what it was I was going with a little, or a rondelle, a little baby bicone, a rondelle, a baby bicone, a rondelle, and then I did a spacer bead, a gold spacer bead, and then another rondelle, baby bicone, rondelle, baby bicone, rondelle, spacer bead, rondelle, baby bicone, rondelle, baby bicone, and rondelle. So that was the pattern I had made up so far, and I might need more to be the appropriate length for our piece, but we will have to see when we come to that. And actually, I am going to cut some of this tiger tail off so that I don't have to work with such a large piece. So here's my tiger tail, and I'm just going to thread on these because since I made my my crimp bead into a round ball, I didn't put a spacer on the end. Otherwise I would have, but since it's a round ball already, it'll kind of look like a spacer all on its own. So then we're just threading all of these beads on your tiger tail one by one. And we'll decide in a minute if this is enough or if we need more. Okay, so now that that's all threaded on, you want to keep a little bit of tail on your tiger tail and tuck it into your beads. Doesn't need to be huge, but just a little piece. Okay, and we're going to come down here, and this is our little pattern here. So, rondelle, bicone, rondelle, bicone, spacer bead, rondelle, bicone, spacer bead, rondelle, bicone, rondelle, bicone, rondelle, bicone. Or not bicone, just rondelle, sorry. So we're going to hold this like this, and I'm going to pull this piece out, and we're going to see if this is big enough. So, this would hang on your neck way up here. And that is not near enough. So we're probably going to have to put about that much more on to this. So that's okay. We'll just continue our pattern. And we need a spacer. And then a rondelle, a baby bicone, a rondelle, baby bicone, rondelle, and spacer. Then we're going to do rondelle, a baby bicone, a rondelle, another baby bicone, and another rondelle. And I think we need a whole nother round. So I have some more of those baby bicones over here that I need to pull out. And some more bicones. Or not bicones. I have the bicones. Rondelles. So there's some more baby bicones. And then we're going to get a few more rondelles out. Okay. And a couple, not a couple, actually, I think I just need one. Yeah, one more spacer bead. So then, actually, I lied. I need 2 spacer beads. So I need a spacer bead here first to keep going on our pattern. Oh. Spacer bead. Then rondelle. Baby bicone. Rondelle. Another baby bicone. And a rondelle. This is where I need that other spacer. So set that up there. I'll put my spacer on. And then my rondelle. Baby bicone. Oh. Rondelle. Another baby bicone. And rondelle. So I'm hoping that this is enough, but we are going to test and see. So that's a very pretty chain right there, and then we're going to add this up here, and I think that is going to fit great. So we're going to call it good there. And so now I'm going to put one of the crimp tubes on. And like I say, these are special crimp tubes. I got them from Hobby Lobby. They sell them right next to the magical crimper. They're super thick. This is the thickness of them. Super thick. Oh, come on. So that's the thickness of them. If I can get it. I'm sorry, guys. It does not want to focus. Okay, there you go. That's how thick they are. They're very thick. And then I'm going to thread on my wire guardian. And push the wire guardian over to the other side, or the wire in the wire guardian over to the other side. And then down your tube. Oh, I'm sorry. Down your tube and then through a couple of beads. And then if you'll pull it down, it will tighten up. Now, you don't want it super, super tight because you still want to be able to move a little bit. You want a little bit of movement because you want it to curve like that. So it doesn't need to be super, super tight. But about there. And then I'm going to use my magical crimper again. You have to make sure you get that crimp right in that center slot. Like that. And then you just clinch. Then you turn it. Oh, sorry. Turn it. And you're going to do it again. Clinch. Turn. Clinch. And you can just keep doing it until your crimp is shut securely and you don't think you're going to lose it. And if you can still move that, then it's not tight enough. And I can. So you keep going if it's not tight enough. And just make sure you get it really good. And you just keep turning it. Making sure it stays in that ball formation. Okay. And then when you get it tight, you'll have a little ball. And you just go and you crimp off the end. And make sure you only get the one wire when you do this. And you do it as close as you can to the bead. So then this is our little chain. So I'm going to move all this over. And then we're just going to hook it onto our links that we're going to put up here, these little links, with some 4mm jump rings. So you grab a jump ring. Oops, dropped my jump ring. Grab a jump ring. And then open your jump ring. And hook it. I'm going to hook it to one of the side links. Oh, and then hook your larger chain if that's going to be the outside link. And make sure it's closed well. Then you take another jump ring, open it, hook your other chain to it, and then hook it to the inside link. And close your jump ring. So then when you hold it, oh, and I did it to the wrong one. Okay, just 1 second. Now don't do what I did and make sure you get the right link. So that's going to be that one. Then just make sure your jump ring is closed up really well. Okay. And then that looks like that. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. With some 4mm jump rings. Make sure your jump ring gets closed really well. And then add a jump ring to the other and make sure your link goes on the right, or your jump ring goes on the right link. So I'm on this link. So I need to be over here. And then make sure your jump ring gets closed up really well. Okay, so then this is what it looks like. And then we're going to add some chain up the back. This is already pretty long, so I don't know exactly how much chain we're going to add, but I want it to set fairly long. So I'm going to bring out my ruler, and we're going to add, I'm going to say like 7-ish inches to either side. No, 6. We're going to say 6. We'll do 6 inches to either side. So then I need to cut this link. And then your best way to get the same exact measurement of chain is to put them on a head pin like this. Or mine's actually just a piece of wire that I had sitting over here, but and then measure. So then you just come down to the end of that other chain and you're going to cut off right where that other one lets off. Then you go ahead and you make sure they're still the same length. And mine are, let me see. Mine are the same length. So that's how you do that. Then we're going to hook onto these links at the top with our chain. So let me set my ruler out of the way. And we're going to grab these 4mm jump rings. Here. And you're going to hook onto this top link here. And then hook one of your chain links on there. And close it up. Then you're going to do the same with the other side. Hook it to your top link here. And then hook your other set of chain to that. And close it up really well. Okay. Then at the end, oops. Then at the end, we're going to add a lobster claw clasp and a larger jump ring. So I'm going to need a 4mm on one side and a, like, I don't know, 8mm on the other. Or a 10. I don't know if that's an 8 or a 10. Actually, I think this is a 6mm jump ring, but that's okay. It was small. And then I'm going to hook mine onto the right hand side and close it up really well. And then to your other side, you do the same thing. Just hook it on there and close it up really well. And I've actually decided I'm going to do the earrings on a separate video because we're already at an hour. So, I'll do a little quick video of those. But you hook it together. And this is what you've got. Give me just a second. I'm going to put this on a bust and I will show it to you. Okay, so then when you put it on a bust, it looks like that. It's So you've got that pretty outer chain here. That's what that looks like. And then that inner chain. And then you come out and it looks like this. And actually, I'm going to try a thinner bust. Give me just a second. Okay, there it is. Once again. So there's that pretty dangle there at the bottom. Then you come up and you've got the beaded chain on either side. And these links at the top here with this inner chain. I really like how this came out. And I'm very pleased with it. So thanks for watching, everyone. If you like this video, could you please give it a thumbs up so that YouTube will share it. Sorry, you're seeing a little bit of my working space. And then if you're not subscribed and you like what you saw, please consider subscribing and tell your friends and family. And those of you who have already subscribed, thank you so much for watching. And I truly enjoyed doing this tutorial with you. I'm going to do one for the earrings next, and that one should be very short, but still fun. So that's everything. Thanks, guys. Bye.